You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Starting again. We're back. Oh man, welcome on this Tuesday morning. It is the Zod and Drea podcast. Welcome everybody. Sorry about all the background noise. We have a cat that just loves to play, and of course he always waits that until we're on the microphone before we go ahead and speak. So, alright, you got that taken care of? Of course, it's not my cat. It's always yours.
It's always my cat, yes. Problem is taken care of.
Alright.
Anyways.
Yeah, anyway, we're back. So, how is everybody? Everybody doing alright?
Do you hear the responses?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Well, the good thing is we should be able to probably listen in on some of those responses soon, because we're going to be opening up a special Facebook page for a think tank, inviting everybody to be able to give all their input and discuss on several topics of your choosing, and also ones that we choose that we will discuss hopefully up on the podcast. So we will get your input and be able to open up the phone lines to you.
Yeah, that'll be exciting then.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I think it's something that people will be able to enjoy and also be able to give their 2 cents in. Because I think like the one thing that's missing again is to get everybody's phone calls in, their opinions, and for now start with people who call in, leave us a message, and we throw it up there on the podcast so that we can get your input. So that'll be cool, but that's going to be in the future, in the very near future, and we want you to check out the Facebook page, and we're going to make sure we update you that. I'll get all the information there as well as on the website.
Yeah, this way you just don't hear our voices anymore. You get to hear the opinions from others and people that want to contribute, so it'll be awesome.
Yeah, so look out for that. Anyway, let's talk about what we are going to talk about. So we're not going to have a relationships area on this one, so we're going to pretty much talk 2 politics and a movie review, which will be the entertainment. So
yeah, what are we first going to talk about?
Well, let's talk about the politics 2, which is going to wind up being the code talkers. Mm-hmm. There's something, I think we should talk about the code talkers because I think they got dismantled yesterday. I guess in the press conferences and in the news. So, let's talk a little bit about them.
And then we're going to talk about Coco. We got to see the movie over I guess not even really weekend, but it was right before the Thanksgiving holiday. So we're going to talk about that experience.
All right. And then the final one that we're going to be talking about, the main message is, how is the internet as we know it about to die? So let's look out for that, because that's going to be something interesting to speak about and something you should look into. But right now, let's talk about the code talkers.
So, yeah, kind of give an overview about what happened it was on Monday, correct, at the White House?
Yeah, so this is just yesterday.
So from what we could see so far is that yesterday there was a ceremony to honor the remaining 3 code talkers, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that the 3 code talkers that are currently living,
and
from World War II.
They were invited by the White House to come to this event, right? So during the event, the president then was honoring their service, which was tremendous service that they volunteered to help win the war during World War II. And we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. So anyways, during that ceremony, the president then somehow, some way, in an odd rambling form, indicates to the group that they also, meaning government, also has a person that's been around for a long time in Congress, and her name is Pocahontas. We all know he made that jab towards Senator Warren. But what we wanted to talk about was that, first of all, how dare you use still that awful racist slur and sexist slur. And then we also, he took the moment away then from honoring these men who, let's just be honest, the president never even served in war and tried to do everything to not serve in war. So these men did such an amount of sacrifice then for their people and for the country, and they need to be honored for that.
I mean, my thing is Clown Trump. Like, she can call him president all she wants. Clown Trump had the opportunity. All he had to do was follow the script. As anything he does, all he has to do with his 71-year-old ass is follow the script. Just follow it. These are some people that have done more for this country than he will ever do in his life. I don't care how many stupid buildings he makes to make himself money and how many failed business opportunities he's had. These are the people who have actually saved lives for American citizens in World War II. And trust me, as Native Americans, they owed this country nothing. They owed him nothing. And for him to use that opportunity to suddenly and out of nowhere make a swipe at a random, towards a random senator for no reason. So in other words, think of his mind frame. Oh, I'm looking at you, you're Native American. Oh, I've been making fun of this one woman who said she was Native American and she wasn't in the past. I think this is a good time for me to make a crack because my listeners and my viewers, my 35% of people who approve of me, would love for me to make this joke, and I'm going to use Pocahontas, and even though you guys who have nothing to do with this don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I'm going to use this opportunity to upend what you said and what you did for your sacrifice in World War II so that I can make a funny, and I'll be so popular on Twitter with all my stupid white supremacist friggin' followers. The whole thing is, you go and look at the white supremacist followers on Twitter, and what do they say? Oh, it's not racist. How are white people supposed to tell Native Americans who found it racist that it's not? And that kills me. It's like you have no right to do it. But anyway, let's just take this last minute and a half to talk about the Code Talkers and what they actually are. They started off actually in World War I read. That in World War I they actually started. Yeah, in World War I they actually started to do the coded language in order for people to stop breaking their codes. But in World War II, like these people did, it was more so the Japanese were able to interfere since they were already trained in the United States. They already knew what type of language in order to break some of the codes they did. So they had an idea that to use the Code Talkers, to use Navajo, and there have been a whole bunch of them that I looked into. Choctaw were the first ones in World War I. Choctaw and I forgot another group, but they were the first ones in World War I to do it. But the other natives for World War II were much of the Cherokee.
Oh wow!
I mean Navaho. I'm sorry, Navajo. Navajo to do it. So they were the ones who spoke into their language, which is just pretty much their language. It's like the Japanese were just caught blindsided because they didn't study, Native American language, so they were taught to some of the other soldiers in order to do the translations, in order to get some of these things passed in war. It's really interesting. It's really an interesting thing, but I know we got to move on to the next topic, but it's one of those things where I think that there is I know we got to move, but there is on HistoryNet.com, they discuss them, but there's also something called NavajoCodeTalkers.org, where you can see Peter McDonald, who I believe was one of the guys yesterday that Trump was talking to, but you can see an interview on him. And I'd say definitely check it out so you can find out what the fascinating history is and how these people actually helped us during wartime. The
true history.
Yeah, instead of this Pocahontas bull crap, anyway.
Who wasn't even Navajo.
Yeah, anyway. So, moving on, let's talk about the movie Coco and some fun. If we're going to talk about something native, let's talk about something fun native. So, this is your realm because you got all amped up. You wrote the review for it. We went to go see the movie, animated movie by Pixar/Disney, and it was really good.
So Disney Pixar, about 6 years ago, decided that they wanted to make a movie based on the, they thought like the theme or the holiday of the Day of the Dead, right? So I was doing some research prior to seeing this movie because I was a little cautious about Coco. I thought, oh my gosh, is this going to be some Disney whitewash about the Mexican culture and the holiday? What I found out was that, again, when they were trying to do this 6 years ago, that Disney did screw up because they tried to copyright the holiday name Day of the Dead. Like, they tried to copyright that. That's ridiculous, right? How could you do that? So when that failed, the backlash that they received from the Mexican community was really harsh. And so what Disney Pixar decided to do was take then some of their harshest critics, which were artists, which were various, I think it was historians too, and a lot of people that are from Mexico that just were really upset about what happened. They hired him on and said, you know what, we did screw up. We're sorry. We really don't know what we're doing because we're in this bubble all the time. We're in this Pixar, Disney, Northern California bubble. So please, we don't want to insult the culture in the community. So they hired on this amazing group, and the movie is absolutely beautiful. I keep saying this to everybody that wants to listen. It is visually beautiful, and the storyline is wonderful. I've had some people say, "Oh, I don't want to go because I don't want to cry." No, it's a good cry. It's not a cry like they're totally sad. You get to recognize the beauty of the Mexican culture, the history of Day of the Dead, and to really look back and see what it is and the importance of remembering those that have passed in your life.
Yeah. What I wound up liking was definitely that it was visually stimulating, but that they didn't whitewash it. And I just love the graphics. I love the way that Pixar does like their old people with the square jaws and everything else, and the details that they put into it with the wrinkles and everything.
The hair on the face.
And what's also cool about it are all the different characters and how they're portrayed. Like if you want to learn a little bit about the Mexican culture, like you can get a little bit there without going overboard. There were regular people there. It wasn't, oh, look at, they're eating fish tacos or eating. It was just, they were just in Mexico. Like, that's just where it was. It was a place in Mexico, and the way it starts off with, remember the beautiful cutouts, and I think it also ended that way. But, just talking about everything that they had in spirit animals, and don't even skip out on the plot twists. Like, they got a couple plot twists that were in there.
Mm-hmm, they were good.
It was really good, and it was a really fascinating movie. Showing some of the cultural aspects just where music was. So even the music that they played was very culturally Mexican. But not only that, but you have to see the way the Day of the Dead is portrayed in it. Like they completely made it extremely creative. Just how they did it in the crossovers. But even when in the realm of the dead, let's say, where people are skeletons, like some of the markers, the way that they made their mustaches, or the way that they was very also culturally diverse. Mm-hmm. It was just the small details in everything that they did, and even just some of the tearjerker things about not being forgotten. And you remember that one character, it's like he didn't want to be forgotten, but eventually most people are going to be forgotten generationally, generation after generation. But if you don't have those stories to tell, then that's how people can live on. So it was, that's what I really liked about it. I thought it was a really cute movie.
One thing too that was the only thing that was bad was that we had to sit through 20 minutes of the Disney little spin-off Frozen. So people, if you're gonna go see it, you can miss the first 20 minutes of the movie because unless you want to sit through that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod.
Everybody, go see it.
And we want you to check out the Zod Andrea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodandrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod Andrea.
Instagram?
Zod Andrea.
Snapchat?
Zod Andrea.
YouTube?
Zod Andrea.
I see a pattern.
So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod Andrea on all the social networks. But also, make sure you subscribe to the Zod Andrea podcast. Where?
At zodandrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye.
All
right, so let's go. I can't talk. Let's talk a little bit about our topic then, that is, how is the internet as we know it about to die? This is crazy. I can't even believe this is even really going on right now.
No, it sounds dire, and to tell you the truth, it is. The way the internet was set up was to be almost like a free industry. It was free-flowing in order for people to have equal access to it. There are no limits. The thing about the United States is they usually wind up selling you a bill of goods. And that bill of goods is the land of the free and the home of the brave and all that other stuff. And there's a section of America, usually middle Americans, who believe all that crap. They believe that that's exactly what it is when they don't know that they are being sold down a river. I mean, it happened in the Patriot Act. There are certain things that you just give away all of your information in order to enforce and empower the government. And the internet was one of those things where you were able to completely freely do what you wanted. You can watch movies. You can do, use VPNs to bypass all this stuff. Clear your browser history. But instead, what they do a lot of times is, they'll read, your browser history if you don't check the warning sign. I mean, there's a lot of things that you sign into, but all you have to do is read the fine print. The way that the internet is trying to be, thanks to the FCC, trying to pull back on the net neutrality that Obama had put in. Obama had pretty much made it so the net neutrality in 2015 was a thing. It was like, just keep it going. We don't want the ISPs to take over. We don't want any of this. We want to just keep the internet free flowing because innovation relies on it. Things like Facebook and Google would not have come about, Amazon, if it wasn't for a free internet. Just that way, just allow you to do it. Think of the way that Dish, like how cable or Dish Network give you things. It's like, okay, hey, we can give you these channels for this much money, or you can get this package for this much. Oh, you want HBO? You're gonna have to get this package for this. That's kind of what they're trying to do to the internet by destroying net neutrality. For whatever reason, the FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, thinks that it's a good idea to get rid of it, despite the fact that they are getting inundated with so many phone calls. I mean, remember, his family's even getting...
His family's getting harassed, is what he reported on Fox News yesterday. And he's so sad about it.
Wow. Yeah, but, Daddy, you are going to be the one who is going to destroy the internet as we know it. And this is something that 5 people in the FCC have control of right now. 5 people in the 5 human beings in the country are going to determine how your internet is being handled. So think of it this way. Let's say you're a guy who likes to watch a lot of porn. You're like, yo, porn is life. You can now be throttled for that porn. You can now be throttled where you now have to pay for that porn. So let's say you want to watch Netflix, but that's on a different level. Like, in other words, you pay $20 in order to stream movies, but porn, maybe that goes into a different category. You might have to give up that porn because if your credit card doesn't work for one of the things, like, you're not going to be watching it. They are trying to do that to you. You like that Netflix? Well, guess what? You're not going to be able to watch it. And what's even crazier is ISPs will then be able to not just throttle your speed, they will be able to throttle your speed as to how much. Well, you watch more internet than you do this, so we're going to make that faster and this slower.
Right. And you're going to have to pay more because of the amount of speed that you have, too.
The amount of speed. So if you like to watch, like they were saying, if you like to watch 4K video streamed online, you're going to fill it up. So think about, remember how cell phones were when they first came out and you had that plan? It's like, oh, you know what? You're going to have to, they didn't have unlimited. God, that was like Verizon like last year, really.
Yeah.
But, you hit a cap. You hit a cap. And it's funny, even Verizon and some of these other things, they say, hey, it's unlimited, but really there is a limit. It's just that most people don't go over that limit. But if you do go over that limit, you're paying more. They're trying to do that with the internet. The internet, in other words, companies will be able to control you even more. The corporations will have a much larger piece of the pie on your internet delivery.
And they will filter and choose, like what Brent had. I'm sorry,
Yeah, thanks.
What you said about access. You will be limited to the access too. So think about it. If you are a super liberal person and you love to look up sites that are only for, let's say they're very liberal, like you got your Huffing Post or your NPR. Well, you could have a corporation that runs the internet that could say, you know what, for the liberal stuff, we're just going to charge you a little extra. But maybe not so much for the Fox or for, that is just, it's a silly example, but it could get that way.
And this is where it's going to, people. Like, imagine your internet being controlled because 5 people decided that it was better for corporations to have more of a handle on it than you. And like Obama said, this is going to destroy, like the reason he put this thing in the net neutrality in 2015 was it was going to destroy industries. These guys like Ajit, or whatever his name, Ajit Pai, thinks somehow he's trying to pull a Jedi mind trick. And who do you think who backs him is Trump. Trump, has this guy, and do you have the names? I don't have the names. There are other people of these 5 who get to choose this. And Ajit Pai is one of them. And
he's the FCC chairman, so that's why he's the face of it all. But then you have Mijon Claiborne. She's also the commissioner. Michael O'Reilly, commissioner. Brendan Carr, commissioner. And Jessica Rosen Workle, also a commissioner.
O'Reilly. Michael O'Reilly, not Riley.
Oh, Michael O'Reilly, correct.
So we're talking about these people. Does it say which ones voted? I think it was the 2 women who are voting no against overturning the net neutrality. I believe.
Now there's talks of on different sites you'll see that Michael O'Reilly, he was brought on during the Obama administration, and he is a Republican. There are some talks that he may vote against this, but definitely Brendan Carr, that he was assigned by Trump. He's a Trump boy. He is definitely going to be voting in support of this. Now, so there might be some hope with Michael.
There might be. One of these guys can actually be a hero. Like, think about it. One of these people can say, you know what, we can't go with this, and I'm not down with this. And they can be the hero who does this. But people who understand why this is such a risk are the ones who are against it. So, people are trying to give them a call. They're calling them on, on Twitter. And we just have to make sure that people get into this feet first, because there's a vote coming in really soon that could affect everyone at the beginning of the year. Your ISPs could be changing the way that you pay and look at the internet. Somebody said that they lived, I looked at it online, and somebody said that they lived in, I think it was New Zealand or Australia. I can't remember which one it was, but that's the way their internet is throttled, and they said it's terrible. Like, what we have is way better. All these people are really trying to take this away from people. I mean, think about that.
And what concerns me, too, is that they also list, because they're going to be able to dictate who gets what and how much. Think about the communities that are rural communities that their internet access is already pretty not the best, right? You either have it or you don't, or it's pretty slow, but yet they're trying to still get some of this, and for at least a reasonable rate, or in some cases, for people that have limited funding, they can see about applying for some type of access or free internet, right? That's going to be gone.
Like, think about it. You right now, you're able to listen to this podcast, watch, a Hulu movie, stream your music, and watch.
Pull up a recipe video.
What's going on in your house because of your security videos with no problem. You might have to pay for those things separately. Like, separately. Think about it. It's like a la carte. If you want this, it's gonna have to do this. You have to do this. That's too much control over everything. And they can also tell you what you can't see. That's scary. For right now, I want to put this up. Everybody is trying to call these guys. Call them and leave them a message no matter what you do. Ajit Pai is the FCC chair, and his phone number in Washington is 202-518-7399. Call him and complain. Tell him who you are as a citizen and let him know what is going on. Michael O'Reilly, 301-657-9092. Him too. Leave a message. Do this multiple times during the day, because these people have to know how much. I mean, we need to crush their voicemails.
Right. And then Brandon Carr, call him up now at 202-719-7305. And don't believe in what supposedly they're releasing out in the press about, so the FCC, what they just released last week, they're saying, we've gotten all these emails, but about 30% of them are from bots, and they're fake.
Bull.
No.
They're trying to tell you that. No.
They're trying to crush the effort. Don't.
And don't think this is a liberal thing. All the people who are MAGA out there, you're going to be affected just as hard. Just like you voting pussy grabber into the office thinking that you're not going to be affected, you're going to be affected the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to be the one sitting there, oh, this billionaire is going to save me. No, the billionaire is not going to save you. The billionaire is going to make sure he has another billion in his pocket, so he's going to save the corporations. This is all what it is. It's a scam. It's a plan in order for one person in order to achieve, his own dream. So net neutrality, everybody who likes to do gaming, all the social media you do, all this stuff is going to be affected. Right now with net neutrality, it's one price.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just pay one price, $95. I can video, I can email, whatever. No. Oh, you want Netflix? Well, that's going to cost you a little bit extra, but in order just to add video. So Netflix can keep, think about that. Netflix will keep the same price of $10, whatever it is. They went up in price. Netflix will keep the same price, but just to be able to stream video at your house, you'll have to buy a video package.
Right.
So that's like, they can be like $20. If you want to stream video for this month, it's going to be $20 a month. Plus, on top of that, you have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to email too? Oh, well, that's going to be this much money. Oh, you're a gamer? Well, this is going to cost you another $15. Right. Oh, you like social media? Well, that's going to add up. It's going to add up. And the taxes are going to kill you. And who's going to win? The ISP, and they're going to throttle all your internet.
And we knew that the cable companies and the media companies were hurting because of streaming. We knew that. We know tons of people that don't have cable anymore, don't watch, or if they do watch TV, it's just going to be the local channels because they stream everything, all their entertainment.
Yeah, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, yeah.
We knew that was going to hit their pockets. So this is how they're coming back at it, saying, oh, okay, so you don't want to watch our channels? We're going to pass this law so then this way you have to pay to see no matter what.
So we want to know what you're going to do about this. We're hoping that you will wind up making your phone calls and telling everybody on that FCC, at least those three, because the other two are not going to be, they're with us. They're with the people. The ones who are not listening to the people have the majority vote. It's going to take a judge in order to stop it, but by then it might be too late. And then, it's going to go be a back and forth. By then, there's going to be a setup in place. You're going to, and it kills me because there are people who don't care because they think they're MAGA. They're like, oh, whatever Trump says, then obviously it's got to be a good thing.
Says.
We're talking about people who will allow, a child molester like Roy Moore to get into office just to avoid a liberal to get in there. Like this, these are those people, and they don't realize you're going to get screwed. All because you didn't listen, and but they won't. To them, they're probably still thinking, "Oh, you know what? He's a billionaire, so he knows what he
knows what he's doing.
He knows what's best for me." Just call.
Right. So, and you don't even have to post anything on social media. You don't have to tell people that you're doing this. Just make the calls, send the emails. That's it. That is the best form of activism you could do regarding this situation.
So. Let us know what you think about this, and give us a hit because it might wind up being where you don't get to hear Zod and Drea podcast.
You don't get to see what it is that you want to see anymore.
You don't get to.
You are limited. The internet will be limited for you, just what other countries do that?
Yeah, you might have to like New Zealand or Australia. I can't remember which one it was, but if you wind up having to pick a package plan, and instead of the $60, maybe you pay for internet, it's going to be $99. You're going to feel it in your pocket, and guess who's not? Mm-hmm. Comcast and Time Warner and all these other big companies that are just making a buck off of you. And you're going to get people who are going to break through it. People who are going to be. It's just not going to be a good look, just because a few people want to do this for the corporation. So. I would, if I were you, call these numbers. We're going to have them on our website. But anyway, just make sure you hit us up, ZodandDrea.com, at ZodandDrea everywhere.
Everywhere and anywhere. So again, tell us your thoughts about our topics today. Let us know if you went to go see Coco. And also just let us know. We need. I'm just back to this net neutrality. Please just email and make phone calls.
What we're gonna wind up doing is make sure you check on Zod and Drea Think Tank on Facebook. Do a search. We made it so that it's not private anymore. So people will be able to join in, throw in their 2 cents, and that's what we're going to really get a lot of our newer topics from you, and have that phone number available. So we got one phone number, but we're going to get another phone number, and once that's up, then we'll be able to hear from you a lot easier from these phones.
Right, and this way we can hear all the contributions. So, till next time.
All right, peace.